Breaking news in the last couple of minutes, the ratings are in and WWE NXT has defeated AEW Dynamite in total viewership and also in the key demographic as both shows went head-to-head last night. Details on the ratings and the reaction to it. Speaking of last night, Tony Khan once again has taken a shot at Shawn Michaels on social media, criticizing his booking for NXT last night. MGF opens up on the controversial segment last night and the reaction on social media to it as well. Luchasaurus' lawsuit between AEW and the creator and designer of his mask has been settled. An update also on Cash Wheeler's injury status. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, plenty of stories to get into in the world of professional wrestling, and everyone was waiting for the news to come out. Everyone was waiting for the ratings to come in, and indeed they have, and it's a resounding victory for WWE NXT as they went head-to-head last night with AEW Dynamite. Of course, Dynamite being moved out of its usual slot on Wednesdays, moved to Tuesdays, going head-to-head with NXT on USA Network. Dynamite presenting, or AEW presenting, a special titled Tuesday edition of the show on TBS. Let's get straight into the numbers. Let's get straight into the reaction to it as well. Let's start off talking about NXT. The ratings for the latest edition of WWE NXT are in, and it's very good numbers for WWE with a loaded show that featured several of WWE's biggest stars in company history. The show drew 921,000 live viewers on USA Network, which is up from the 857,000 viewers the show previously drew a week ago. Again, this comes from Brandon Thurston of WrestleNomics. In terms of the 18 to 49 demographic, the show did a 0.30 rating. The show last week did a 0.22 rating 1 week ago, so both the total viewership and the rating and the 18 to 49 rating are up significantly despite the competition from AEW airing in the same time slot on TBS. Of course, WWE loaded up NXT this week. They brought in the likes of Cody Rhodes, John Cena, Asuka, LA Knight, and The Undertaker for the show. But just to show how much of a success this episode is for WWE, this was the highest total viewership since September 25, 2019. And it's the best key demographic rating since October 2nd, 2019 as well. Of course, they went head-to-head with AEW Dynamite. It marked the second time that AEW Dynamite and WWE NXT went head-to-head since the USA Network moved NXT from Wednesday nights to Tuesday nights back in 2021, and the first time in a year that the two shows went head-to-head. Now, NXT drew 676,000 total viewers with a 0.18 key demographic rating 1 year ago, showing the year-over-year big growth when it comes to total viewership and key demographic as well. Now, in comparison, let's talk about AEW Dynamite here, and it's down significantly from last week, and as I mentioned, it's significantly below, obviously, NXT in terms of total viewership as well as the key demographic too. The ratings are in for AEW Dynamite, the special titled Tuesday edition of the show on TBS. The show drew 609,000 viewers on TBS, which is down significantly from the 800,000 viewers the show drew last week. In the 18 to 49 demographic, the show did a 0.26 rating, which is down from the 0.28 rating that the show did last week. Brandon Thurston of WrestleNomics also reported this news. As I mentioned, this was a special Tuesday night episode of the show, as the show was moved out of its normal Wednesday night time slot due to the Major League Baseball playoff coverage, and the ratings were expected to be down, especially in comparison to WWE loading up NXT, as I mentioned, with not only some of the biggest stars currently on their roster, but also some of the biggest stars of all time when it comes to the likes of John Cena and The Undertaker. As I mentioned, this was the second time that both shows have gone head-to-head, but a big successful night for WWE. Not only were they viewership victory over AEW Dynamite, but also a ratings victory over AEW Dynamite as well. And in addition to that as well, hugely successful numbers, with it being the highest total viewership in since September 25, 2019, and the best key demographic rating since October 2nd, 2019 as well. We're talking close to 4 years, some of the best numbers that WWE has done for NXT in 4 years. So What are your thoughts on these ratings now that they are out? Are they what you expected? Did you expect AEW to do better? Did you expect NXT to do better? Did you expect either show to do worse? Or is this largely how you expected things to go? Let me know your thoughts, your reaction to all of it in the comment section below. Now, Tony Khan, this was prior to the ratings come out today. He's been pretty active on social media over the last 24, 48, 72 hours, and that's continued today because, of course, AEW and NXT went head-to-head on Tuesday as AEW Dynamite moved their days due to the Major League Baseball playoffs. Now, AEW show featured 2 title changes, Bryan Danielson versus Swerve Strickland and Adam Copeland's in-ring debut. NXT featured appearances by the likes of Asuka, Cody Rhodes, John Cena, LA Knight, and The Undertaker. Now, while many fans enjoyed both shows, Tony Khan wasn't sold on the job that Shawn Michaels did with NXT, reacting to a graphic of Shawn Michaels with the Booker of the Year award. So this started off, we can get the tweets up on the screen here. This started off with discussion about review bombing on social media when it comes to Cage Match and how people were praising the NXT show. One person said, the review bombing of NXT today is insane. 10 out of 10 great show by bots. This response was a response to it saying, quote, the mid/negative reviews are interesting. Some of these 10 out of 10s are just listing off the main event stars who showed up. Bizarre. Now, Tony Khan, the AEW president and CEO, then responded to this by saying, quote, and then on the titled Tuesday Dynamite Reviews, amid scores of 1s and 3s, 2 totally unique users who are definitely not both the same person, used a very common expression, quote, shows how bad he is at being a normal person on the same day reviewing the same show. Now, someone responded to this, saying seethe with an AI-generated image of Shawn Michaels holding a Booker of the Year award. Tony Khan couldn't help himself and responded to this by saying, quote, actually, I'm pretty sure that last night blew whatever chance he had at winning that award. Now, do you agree with what Tony Khan is saying? Should Tony Khan just get off social media and stop responding to all of this? Or is this exactly what AEW needs? Does AEW need to lose heavily to WWE to improve their creative? Or is it a case of they need this to spice up their show? Dave Meltzer recently said the product is cold. What are your thoughts on this? What are your thoughts on Tony Khan's comments on social media? Let me know your thoughts about it in the comment section below. I'm sure you will. Now, this has been very controversial on social media over the last 24 hours after the segment on Dynamite last night. Well, there was plenty to unpack from last night's head-to-head battle between AEW Dynamite and NXT. One moment has stood out amongst the fray as the most controversial and polarizing of the night. Now, that moment would occur during a segment between MGF and Bullet Club Gold, when Bullet Club Gold member Juice Robinson pulled out a roll of quarters with MGF's name on it, vowing to knock MGF out with them. Now, this moment is a callback to past MGF promos where he revealed he was bullied as a child by having a roll of quarters thrown at him, and it has been since criticized for being an anti-Semitic segment, and particularly being poorly timed due to the ongoing issues right now in the world. Today, MGF took to social media to respond to the criticism, including comparisons being made between last night's angle and controversial former WWE star Muhammad Hassan. Now, MGF took to social media with a lengthy post. You can see it on the screen right now saying, quote, Muhammad Hassan was portraying an evil Muslim terrorist. I'm actually Jewish. I've actually gone through this. This is my real life, my story, and I look forward to giving catharsis to every single person who has ever been oppressed or bullied. If you think I'd play with that, or take it laying down, or worst of all, hide from the hard conversations like a coward, you're on crazy pills. I look forward to the hard conversations this starts and creates. I look forward to being people further educated. My life's work is to stand up to any and all injustices done to people due to something as stupid as being different. To anyone that thinks that can't be done through the avenue of professional wrestling, then that's an indictment on things that have to have happened in this sport's past. I look forward to bringing this sport into the present. I look forward to knocking Juice Robinson's teeth down his throat, and most of all, I look forward to getting back the Triple B. So what are your thoughts on MGF's comments about this? What are your thoughts about the reaction to it on social media as well? Is the fact that MGF is fine with this story and actually actively pushing this story, does that make this any better? Or given the current climate right now and the current issues that are ongoing in the world politically and also in other countries, is this something that AEW should have backed off on considering what's going on right now? Let me know your thoughts about that also in the comment section below. Now, Luchasaurus and the Mask lawsuit. This has been a story that's been bubbling away for quite a while now, hasn't it? Now, the lawsuit against AEW from mask manufacturer Composite Effects, alleging that AEW was using a copyrighted design for their merchandise has come to a close. According to Brandon Thurston of WrestleNomics, AEW and Composite Effects, or CFX, agreed to an undisclosed settlement, and as of yesterday, the lawsuit was dismissed. Now, CFX lawsuit alleged that the mask belonging to AEW star Luchasaurus, real name Austin Mattelson, was based on one of their copyrighted designs. The lawsuit was first filed at the end of last year, naming both Mattelson and AEW as defendants. CFX stated that they had been unable to agree to licensing terms with Mattelson, but AEW continued using the design on merchandise nonetheless. Additionally, AEW was accused of having similar masks created by other companies that were close enough to infringe upon the copyright of the original design. Earlier this year, AEW attempted to have 5 of the 6 counts dropped, but the judge later denied AEW's motion to dismiss. Mattelson was not mentioned in the court document dated yesterday. While it's likely that the suit against Mattelson has been dropped as well, that has yet to be fully confirmed. Of course, Luchasaurus appeared last night on AEW Dynamite, wrestling Adam Copeland in the WWE Hall of Fame's AEW in-ring debut. Mattelson wore the current darker version of the Luchasaurus mask that he's been wearing since becoming a heel. While the lawsuit only dealt with merchandising rights rather than usage on TV, last night would have been the time to debut a new mask for the AEW star if they had planned on it. Instead, it seems like the new settlement likely resolved the merchandising issues, and Luchasaurus will continue using the current version of the mask moving forward as well. Now, also a bit of an update on Cash Wheeler, with many people wondering what his current status is after FTR dropped the AEW World Tag Team Championships last weekend, and rumors that he is currently dealing with an injury. Cash Wheeler and Dax Howard, of course, lost the AEW World Tag Team Championships to Ricky Starks and Big Bill on AEW Collision this past Saturday night. After the match, it was reported that FTR had dropped the belts because Wheeler was dealing with an injury. Dave Meltzer provided an update on Wheeler during an appearance on the latest Wrestling Observer radio show. Quote, "So the deal, I guess, is that Cash Wheeler wasn't hurt, and it's all just storyline," Meltzer said. "It was just to put those guys, Ricky Starks and Big Bill, over big, and, you know, they're going to be back in the mix. I mean, the match thing was their idea for sure. That said, that's all story. There is no injury. There's supposed to be a rematch. I mean, the way it was laid out, it's set up to be a rematch. When Ricky Starks and Big Bill said there was going to be no rematch, it was basically to set up a rematch." Now, Wheeler and Howard had held the AEW World Tag Team Championship since defeating the Guns in a title versus career match on the April 5th episode of AEW Dynamite. During their 185-day reign, Wheeler, of course, was arrested in the state of Florida and charged with aggravated assault with a firearm. His legal situation came right before AEW's inaugural All-In pay-per-view at Wembley Stadium. Wheeler was released on a bond set at $2,500 and was able to travel across the pond to perform at the event. After Collision this past Saturday night, Dax Howard shut down the talk that he and Wheeler were set to leave AEW after he wrote his trademark "Top Guys Out" phrase in a post on social media. Howard said that the pair aren't going anywhere and that Tony Khan's promotion is their home. Now, what's quite interesting as well is that Dave Meltzer is suggesting that there's no injury, but then Sean Ross Sapp is saying something a little bit different for this. In an update on Fightful Select, Sean Ross Sapp said, quote, "For those asking, Dax Howard did in fact push to creative for the finish of the FTR versus Big Bill and Ricky Starks match to happen the way it was. Cash Wheeler is nursing injured ribs, but we've not told if he'll miss any time." So Sean Ross Sapp is suggesting that there is an injury, but they're not sure if he's going to miss any time. But basically, Dax Howard pushed for that finish to happen the way that it did. Of course, if we get any more details on the severity of Cash Wheeler's injury, we'll let you know. But there you go, guys. This is the latest pro wrestling news for you. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right hand corner. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.
Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.